Hello friends, welcome to Divine Gift Lectures. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe now, and also don't forget to leave a comment and like on this video. So in this video, we'll be looking at linear motion, but in this case, we'll be looking at vertical linear motion. Remember in our last video, we talked about linear motion, and we found the formulas and knew how to solve questions on linear motion. But in this case, we'll be looking at vertical linear motion. Please don't forget to watch the other video if you haven't done so. So remember, in the last video, I said that, and I noted that acceleration will be equal to acceleration due to gravity when the motion is vertical. That is, when it is moving from up to down, up and down to up. That is vertical motion. So, anytime the motion is vertical, acceleration changes towards acceleration due to gravity, because gravity is acting on that vertical motion. So, we are just going to change all these A's to G's. So this is the only difference. So now we are going to practice solving vertical linear motions. Now, take note that G will be 10 meters per second squared. Now, number one, a ball is thrown vertically upwards from the ground with an initial velocity of 50 meters per second. What is the total time spent by the ball in the air? Solution. So, just as we did before, we are going to use the 3 steps. But before doing that, we are going to first analyze this question. Now, we can take note that it is thrown forward from the ground. And let's draw the motion of the ball. These are straight lines I tried to draw. So the ball moved in this motion. We know that when we throw something up in the air, it comes back. So now we are asked to find the total time spent by the ball in the air. The initial velocity is what? 50 meters per second. The time is what we are finding. So this is the motion, and we are asked to find what? The time it takes to stay in the air. Now, to make things simpler, we are going to just take one of the motions, that's one of the vertical motions, and we are going to use that and find the time taken for this motion. And when we do that, we multiply by 2 to get the time it took to go up and come down. Note, we are going to what? Use only one motion first of all, find the time it took to get to that this point, and then we multiply by 2 to get the total time it took to both go up and come down. So this is just a way of making things simpler and easier. So in this case, U is 50. But what is V at this highest point? Now, if you notice, when you throw a ball up, just for a tiny bit of moment, it stays at that highest point. And at that highest point, since it's neither moving up nor down at that point, we will say that V at that moment is 0. So we have V. And also, we have G to be 10. So, among these formulas, or among the formulae, what are we going to use? Because we've noted down the parameters, which is V is equals to 0, U is equals to 50, T is equals to, we don't know that, question mark is what we are finding, and G is equals to 10. Now, we've made inferences, and number 3, we are going to choose a suitable formula. So what formula has all these parameters in it? And that is the first formula, which is V is equals to U plus GT. Okay? So this is the formula we are going to make use of. Now, before we go further, remember I said that acceleration, which in this case is acceleration to the gravity, can either be positive or negative. So now let's take notes. Here we see that the initial velocity is 50 meters per second, and the last velocity here is what? 0. So the velocity decrease with time or increase with time. It will decrease with time, and that means that acceleration will be what? Negative. So here we have what? Negative G. So G here will be minus 10. Another way to know the symbol or the whether it's positive or negative is to know the direction in which it is moving vertically. If it is moving upward vertically, remember that the acceleration due to gravity acts downwards. Because when you throw something up, gravity tends towards bring it down. So in this case, it is opposing. So anytime it moves up, like in this case, it's going to automatically be negative. But if it is coming down, since acceleration due to gravity also acts downward, in that case it will be positive. So we are just going to yes, put it as negative. And then we are going to solve. V, which is 0, we'll put that in. U is 50 plus what? Minus 10t. 0 is equals to 50 plus minus gives us minus 10t. Bringing this to this side, the sign changes to become positive 10. So plus 10t is equals to 50. Divide both sides by 10, and it gives you t is equals to 5. Is this our final answer? No. Please don't forget. Remember that what we are just taking one side of the motion. Remember I said to get the time taken for both sides of the motion, we are going to multiply by 2. So the total time taken, total time is going to be what? Equals to 5 times 2, which is equals to 10 seconds. So the total time spent by the ball in the air is what? 10 seconds. So we're going to move over to the second question. An object is thrown vertically upwards and reaches a height of what? 20 meters. With what velocity was it thrown? An object is thrown vertically upwards and reaches a height of 20 meters. With what velocity was it thrown? So now, just as we did before, we are going to analyze. And then, assuming this is the level from which it was thrown, we say it reached what? A height of what? 20 meters. So this is a 20 meter height. Okay? So we are asked to find what u. We don't know that. And then, also, since we've noted the parameters we've had now, g is equals to 10. What sign is it going to take? Since it's going upwards, which is opposite to what? The downward motion of gravity, we are going to say it's negative. Because it's going upwards and gravity acts downward. They are opposite in direction, so we are going to put what's negative. Since we've noted down the parameters, we are going to make inference. And that inference is that v at this point is going to be 0. Since they say this is the point where it's reached, we are going to say it's what? It's 0, because at the highest point, v is always 0 for vertical motion. So when it reaches the highest point and no longer goes further, where it's just about to come down, you can say that what? V is equals to 0. So we've put down the parameters, we've made inference. Now it's time to choose a suitable formula. So what formula has both v, u, g, and s? And that is what? The third formula. So we're going to make use of that. V squared is equals to u squared plus 2gs. V squared is equals to 0 squared. U squared, we don't know that. That's what we are looking for. Plus 2 times minus 10 times 20. 0 squared is 0 is equals to u squared plus 2 times minus 10 minus 20. Minus 20 times minus 20 is what? Minus 400. So this is minus 400. Okay? So this 0 is equals to u squared minus, plus minus is minus. So minus 400. 400 comes here. That is going to come here and change signs because we are collecting like terms. 400 is equals to u squared. From here we can deduce that u is equals to 20. So please don't forget your what? Your unit. So that's the answer. And now we're going over to number 3. The ball bearing is projected vertically upwards from the ground with a velocity of what? 10 meters per second. Calculate the time taken by the ball to return to the ground. So we are going to use the same process. And first of all, in this case, we are going to analyze. So it was thrown up from the ground, and it was thrown with what velocity? 15 meters per second. Calculate the time taken by the ball to return to the ground. So here we are going to find out that what is the same scenario as this. Time taken, we don't know that. We're going to put question mark. So in this case, we are also going to find what the time taken for just one side. And then to get the time taken for both going up and coming down all together, we are going to multiply by 2. So we are going to take just this motion, and we are going to assume that it started here and stopped here. So V, remember V at the highest point is 0. And also we have G. This motion is going up and G acts downwards. Since they are in opposite direction, G is going to be negative. So we're going to say minus 10. Alright? So now, looking at this, what is the appropriate formula to use? You can see that it is the first formula. So we have V is equals to U plus GT. V is equals to 0. U is equals to 15 plus minus 10. Okay? Remember, we are looking for what? We are looking for T minus 10T. 0 is equals to 15 minus 10T. Collect like terms. CLT, collect like terms, is equals to 15 minus 10T is equals to 15. Divide both sides by minus 10. T is equals to minus 1.5. Sorry, remember it was brought here, so this changes to positive. T cannot be minus, so time is equals to plus 1.5. Is this our final answer? No. We're going to multiply by 2 to get the total time. So if here it takes 1.5, here it takes 1.5, what is the answer? 3 seconds. So T is equals to, total time is equals to 1.5 times 2. Total time is equals to 1.5 times 2, which is equals to 3.0 seconds. So I hope you learned a lot. Don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to watch the other videos.